Hey everybody, welcome to Geeks of Honor. We are here at the DroneX Trade Show 2024. Graham's here as well. We're in the same room.
Hello. I think it's the first time we've been in the same room
For a broadcast.
live. Yeah.
Is it?
I think so.
Wowzers.
Yeah, we've never done it from the studio.
No, we've done some videos, especially members of videos, but yeah, I think you're right, actually.
This is it.
That's crazy, isn't it? That is actually crazy. So do bear with us. We are obviously flying without the usual safety nets, shall we say. We do have...
Or parachutes.
Indeed, we do have some awesome backup, including, if I switch the camera too quickly, and we'll say hello to one of our crew members today, Jo, as she goes around the corner. No, that camera.
Oh, all the way around.
Get your face on camera. Get round there. There she is.
There we go.
Star of the DJI Neo video. As other people, and actually, it's interesting. We get recognised here. Obviously, people are coming. Some people, very lovely people, come actually specifically to meet with us, actually, which is lovely, and to say hi. But Jo has actually been recognised for the first time as the girl from the DJI Neo videos.
Oh, that's nice.
It's what you always dreamed of, wasn't it? Being recognised for a drone video. Yes, she's now fulfilled one of her own wish lists. But it's a good place to start, actually, because it was... Oh, hang on. We've had a complaint in the chat. Tazzy is stating, oh, my God, no outlandish shirt.
Oh, right. Hold on.
I think we might actually live be able to fix this particular problem, as scandalous as it is. Now, is that the first time we've had had someone strip on camera?
Do you think I'd let you down, Tazzy?
There you go, Tazzy. Just for you.
Although I have had complaints that it's not loud enough by somebody who came to see me today.
Yes, that was interesting, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You were in your in this shirt.
I was in this shirt,
which I think is quite loud,
not
personally.
You know, it's not plain.
No, it's somewhere in the middle there. But yes, but there were complaints that it wasn't like. But I have to say, one of the absolutely fantastic things about the show has been the fact that the sheer amount of people, including normal viewers, just straight subscribers, etc., coming up and thanking us for our work, but talking to us as well and getting to hear some of the backstories of people's journey in drones.
What it is they do with them, how they use them, whether they're using them for work or for hobby or whatever. And they are just so enthusiastic about the channel.
Exactly, and it's awesome. So thank you if you're one of the many people that have taken the time to do that, especially if you're one of the people. There were a few people that actually travelled specifically to come and see us. We had really nice long chats with. So thank you very much for that. I really appreciate it. Such a diverse group of people, from recreational flyers all the way through to CEOs of fairly substantial businesses, brands that you would know. I won't embarrass them by saying them. But so yeah, so it was absolutely fantastic. So thank you for that. It's one of the highlights of the year, DroneX, for me. Not because of the trade show, etc., but actually from meeting people like you. In fact, it's how I met this guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
We knew of each other
2 years ago.
Yeah, a couple of DroneXs ago.
Yeah, and we sat down, had a little chat, and then the next thing I knew, I was on the channel with Matt.
Yes,
I think.
Yeah, you and Matt Williams.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then it has grown since then.
Stay away.
And now we can't get rid of him, of course. So it's always good fun. Seem to be having a focus issue. There we go. Bring that back. Just check it's on focus wide for me. So yes, so it's been a really good a couple of days here. Yesterday we were literally the entire time of it is Sean matches the background too. Yes, it's the entire time, all from 10 a.m. to 4. The booth, it's a 6x3 meter booth. It's a big old booth, but it's been full of people talking. We've had meetings with the CAA here. We've had the Home Office here. We've had all sorts of people coming and saying hello and having a chat with us, etc., and that type of thing. And it's been really interesting from that point of view. Basically, could you tap on my face on there? That might solve the problem.
I'm just doing as I'm told.
That's brilliant. You didn't know we did comedy, and you still don't, of course. Now, of course, a lot of you will be watching this on the catch-ups. Obviously, we are broadcasting during the day. we wanted to come live while we were here because I think it's a cool thing to do. But there's been some really interesting stuff. I'm going to play a couple of bits of the B-roll just to show what's been happening in the show. So it's obviously showing a bit of B-roll of one of the talks, and there's been some interesting panel discussions happening as well. The CAA, we had Sophie from the Future Flight team.
Yeah.
Probably one of the first times I've seen her at one of these events.
Yeah,
so it was good to see that, wasn't it?
Had a good listen to Sophie, and she was there with a few other ladies who were making a really good case for some of the complex drone use, including the flights for blood between hospitals in London. So yeah, some really good
the Health Bridge one, which we've actually got a video coming up on that actually. Yeah. And it's good to see obviously that kind of thing happening. It would be good to see it in terms of actually in areas where the consumer flyers as well and that type of thing, rather than obviously it's a trade show, it's where the trade comes together. So it's very good that they're actually putting that engagement out here. But also we did actually have a meeting here in our booth with the CAA as well. So we managed to establish in terms of feedback, in terms of some of the recent content, some good news from that point of view, that they are actually conducting a review of the CAP documents, not just the one that we've pulled up recently, but also looking at it from the point of view of all of the documents to see if there are errors, and also the edition numbers and that type of thing, and the review comments. So hopefully, it's a small thing, but it's a small accountable thing that I think will help move things forward a little bit.
It is, and we've got to welcome that, and it's a really positive move from them. And hopefully almost sort of resetting the relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's an awful lot going on in the next 12 to 18 months in the drone world around the regulations and around training for specific category OA holders. So there needs to be that level of communication with the outside world.
Exactly. There's a lot of comms coming from them, and we were talking about that with them as well, and we've worked out a few new ways of getting those comms out to people, which will be very excited to bring you over the coming months and years, hopefully, because obviously this is a bit of an ongoing project for us. Tapping on my head works. Thank you.
Excellent.
Seems to have done the job actually.
That's
so yeah, that was interesting, and lots of other conversation, lots of other meetings which are going to benefit the channel and content and that type of thing. Now, one of the things that I've noticed, and I'm going to keep playing some of the clips of some of the B-roll of some of the stalls that we've seen here, is that we've kind of gone with DroneX. You've been coming a few years as well, and we've kind of gone a little bit sort of it's not full circle really, is it? We've kind of about faced from the fact that it used to be a lot of stuff that you look at it and you think that's never going to get in the air.
No, it was models and pictures.
Yeah, exactly. But actually, the majority of the stuff here are actually products and services that are either operating at the moment somewhere in the world,
or look as though they might be able to.
Yes, exactly. And the conversations around Sora in the UK and that type of thing as well, very exciting.
That's all hotted up, hasn't it, significantly? And
how long have we been waiting for those conversations to happen in earnest, so that we can really start to get excited by this
and dig down into it? People keep asking, Graham, what have you done on Sora? And the answer is so far nothing, because until we know conclusively what it is, we could spend a lot of time talking about the wrong thing or something that won't take place.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
We're just sort of holding fire on that.
Yeah, exactly.
But we will get there.
Yeah, indeed. And it's just good to hear these conversations actually starting to happen in the open, getting more details. And it's going to be a very interesting 2025, I think, for the specific category for commercial flyers out there.
I think we're going to be busy.
And yes, we are. And there's there's an awful lot coming down the road in terms of regulation and legislation, of course, which is needed sometimes behind that regulation to really move things forward. So it's exciting if you're into that kind of thing, which we certainly found out from the visitors. We even had queues of visitors yesterday, the visitors to the booth, that a lot of people are excited about talking about regs.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday was so crazy. It opened up. We had a chat with a couple of guys from the CAA. Before the meeting Sean mentioned earlier, but I didn't get to say hello to you until midday.
Yeah, so it's crazy.
So that's from opening time till midday. Nothing. We were both just tied up with people,
and only at least half of those people were lost and looking for somewhere else. So some of them actually wanted to talk to us as well. That got a laugh from Joanne. There you go. I'm working. Although she's probably biased, isn't she? She has to laugh at my jokes after all these years. Bless her. But yes, and we've also picked up some content which will be playing out over the channel as well, which we'll come on to in a few minutes. So it's been a good chat. It's been good from that point of view as well. We've tried not to make it content heavy in terms of we didn't stream yesterday. Mainly because we were so inundated, it took me several hours just to set up in between the conversations. But it's been nice to concentrate on that, hasn't it, a little bit
Absolutely.
as well?
And I think, I mean, as everybody knows, I spend too much time on Facebook. My wife will tell you that I do, and in the various groups. And I think there's a feeling that, the show hasn't necessarily got things to go and look at that will immediately appeal to the sort of lone operator. But the point is that it's a great place to come and talk about drones, and networking with people will probably help your business far more than looking at the next piece of tech. In fact, I pretty much guarantee that. Just
there was more things happening in the halls. Like, for instance, we've got all these big companies and small companies trying to launch all these projects. Sony were actually the army were here talking about their bits and pieces. Did we have the video? Did we play the video showing Sony? I might have skipped that one for some reason. There we go. Sony were here as well, showing some incredible camera. It's some very impressive moves forward in terms of their sensors as well. Really exciting, and their drones were here. So we're seeing. But not only do we have these brands and have these companies, and you can see the catapult in the background there, the UK government program, etc. Not only have you got all these things happening, the people here in the halls milling around, coming to chat to us, chatting to each other, all these little meetings we can see happening of people stood chatting, and a lot of those people were actually spec cat. So specific category flyers who are out there just networking, as you say. There's so many people, and so many people we were finding going, oh, okay, you're search and rescue. You need to go and speak to Tony. You need to go and do this, and lots of LinkedIn messages going backwards and forwards to get people to hook up.
Yeah, very easy to set up. I just pinged a few things out on LinkedIn yesterday and this morning, and just meeting up with people from that, as well as stuff that you can pre-plan. So it's if you think of it as a networking hub rather than somewhere where you have to go and see a specific piece of kit, then that's I think you can get an awful lot out of it.
Yeah, and then there's some pretty interesting stuff happening, and also some stuff that you may raise a smile at, or so that's been fantastic. In terms of what's also coming up on the channel, we've got the CAA panel that we recorded, which is, as Graham was saying as well, it's some really interesting stuff in terms of what's round the corner, which was good. It wasn't just talking about 10 years down the road anymore, and some of the DroneX CAA conversations have been a little bit focused on the future of the future, almost the bit that we don't know about. There's a bit more real terms this time, which was good. So
I think it's all getting closer together. It feels like it's getting closer together, and I think the next few months will see whether or not that's actually the case.
Yeah, exactly. And we've got that coming up on the channel. We've also got some other interviews and bits of content, including we met with the Australian Defence Force, who are in the UK for basically an international drone racing tournament, where they're basically obviously racing against other countries, militaries, and it's FPV drone racing. And these two young people that we dealt with and we interviewed were incredible. They knew everything about the drones. They knew everything about the build, everything else. They were teaching me a thing or two as well. And the enthusiasm that these guys had was incredible.
Absolutely. And it's clearly a key way for them to help recruit a generation to whom armed conflict is a thing of the past.
Yeah.
But obviously countries need to defend themselves, and
you
as we've seen recently,
the tech side of things, the STEM side of things is certainly the right sort of area to recruit from as well, because it's obviously therefore you're going to have the technical minded people and that type of thing. But it's also good to see them, the Australian Armed Forces, supporting that kind of thing. They started it years ago, and I think other countries are now starting to think actually that's a really good idea.
And they're traveling worldwide I say kids, and that's really patronizing, but I'm an old man, so
yes, exactly. Yeah,
if you're 40, you're a kid to me.
Yes, so. Exactly. They're both
and they're traveling the world flying drones.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Really, flying FPV drones in races. Now, unfortunately, the news from that tournament is that Australia did beat the UK. Although the UK came second, I think they said there were 7 nations competing this year. But it's almost becoming like the drone racing emitting ashes.
Yeah, they'll burn one of the hoops and use those, swap those between
Oh, we should have
countries.
suggested that. They probably would have done that actually. So yeah, but it was really good, and to hear that generation so engaged with drones and building them, not just hey, I've got the latest DJI drone, isn't it got a great camera? You know, it was ELRS, it was the fact they used HD0 for the video, etc. It was the passion and the the girl had advanced very quickly from whoops to 1.5 inch to now 5 inch, so a really big jump there, and the learning curve that they were talking about. So we have that interview coming up on the channel as well, which is going to be really exciting, I think. But it's it's been exhausting, but it's been really interesting to meet so many people, hasn't it?
And the nice thing is that we are already, as we did last year, we're already thinking of ways to improve for next year.
Yeah, exactly.
I think improve this stand and possibly help DroneX with some suggestions.
Indeed. Yes, we may have even brought in some new large brands to be able to help them,
because they are a brilliant team, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, Chloe and Adnan, and it's worth giving them a shout out. We're in a large booth. It's a 6 meter by 3 meter booth. Geeks Varna, as you know, is funded by the production business we run, etc. We're not made of money, as it were, as a YouTube channel. But since the very first time I contacted them 5 years ago now, I think it might have been the first time, pre-COVID, and they invited us along, and I just said I want to come around and wander around with a camera and just capture a few of the stalls. Do you mind? Just wanted to get permission to wander around and be able to make content. They've been fantastic. That first year they opened up an area and they gave us tables and put these things on the wall and that type of thing, etc. So we had a little backdrop, and then from there on they've given us a booth every year, a growing booth. They've now got us as the Geeks Varna interview hub on their website as well, and so generous with their time and their space to gift that to us so that we can be here to have all these conversations. And
a bit later on, as a special surprise, they've let us fly an M350 across from our booth in the corner over to the CAA stand.
Yes, no such thing will be happening. Yes, I think wasn't there confirmation in the talk that there were 50 members of staff from the CAA here today?
Yeah, 50.
That's incredible, isn't it?
That's a lot. That is an awful lot.
That's a lot of people.
That's a budget.
That's a budget, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, it's great. And actually, one of the interesting things is a lot of people that have come to us to talk to us, obviously, they enjoy the contents, they come along to have a chat with us. It's interesting that they've also been along to the CAA, and they're getting a slightly different feeling than when they've tried to email them or call them, because they're in person.
Yes.
Which kind of like just re-emphasizes how important comms are.
Yeah,
doesn't it really?
It is a difference between keyboard warriors and people meeting down the pub. You get a different conversation, a different quality of conversation.
Individual as well.
Yeah, individuals and dealing with human beings. So I really, when people say, what should I go and look at? I point them towards, if they're a specific category, I'll point them at Dorian over at DroneX. And then over to the CAA next door. So
yeah, we've had so many people coming up and talking about Dorian, actually. So as a shout out for Dorian at DroneX.
Absolutely.
We know for sure you've got, if they haven't already signed up, you've got some new people signing up. A fantastic product, actually, DroneX, and he's a friend of the channel, so I don't mind plugging him. And if you, as Graham said, if you do work in a specific category, it's that kind of thing. Cover Drone here as well, of course.
Yeah.
Andrew Heath, always here to have a chat. He always advertises on LinkedIn, etc. beforehand that he's here to have chats with. So if you haven't come this year, and I know Tazzy's in the chat saying he would have liked to have come. If you haven't, then do come along and see us here next year. We will be here again next year, and there will be some even more exciting things happening that might even be for you consumer and recreational flyers as well, which is pretty cool. But yes, Brian Cunningham is saying, attended last year. It's a bit of a mission, to get to the other side of London.
Yes, can be.
That's it. It's one of those things where, and in fact, we had issues both days getting in, and it's one of those things where XL is awesome when you're here, but it's a little bit in terms of getting here from different parts of London.
And we've got both flavours of journey, both modes. So you've come in the car.
I've come in the Geeks Varna car. Yes.
I've come on public transport from south-west London, or southwest of London. And actually, I found it quite easy to get. It's an hour and a half
Yes.
But, you know,
I'm just not sure how they'd look at us with cameras and trolleys and
No.
all the other stuff.
No.
We've got a new branded
You
car,
need
which
the
you would have
car.
seen sneaked into a few of the videos and things, which is it's a mini, but it kind of works as a van. So it's the channel van, and it helps us with our live production stuff for clients as well. But we've got a video coming up on it because it's also enabled with Starlink, so we can live stream from any location. And we're going to be doing some cool live streams, weather permitting. I would set up the channel car
Weather
with
permitting, God
with
help you.
with live streaming capabilities coming into the winter, wouldn't I?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
but there you go. Such was the timing, frankly. So so yeah, it's interesting. We definitely need to see this kind of communication that we've seen from things like the CAA, from organizations like the CAA. We need to find ways of that happening in other areas that's more accessible.
Yes.
Perhaps something, I've had a lot of people talking about Birmingham being a good location as well, and that type of thing.
Yeah.
Although they do attend the photography show there. Is there a photography show in Birmingham? Am I right, in NEC?
NEC, yes.
I think there is
Yes,
one
it
there,
is.
isn't there?
Yes,
yearly?
they do.
And the
do
CAA
one.
are
Yeah.
there in there with their stand as well. But just that whole idea of the comms, and I would love something like a fortnightly, perhaps that's too much for a large organization, but a monthly Q&A on their own channel.
Yeah.
Just have a couple of drone experts around, and just people can ask questions.
Open it up, ask questions. If you can't answer the questions there because you haven't got the right expert, then come back on the next one.
That's it.
Answer
that's
those
it.
questions.
And then you've got almost like you don't have to
rolling-
email it to everybody or anything else like that. You've got it exactly a rolling thing there for people to be able to know exactly what's happening out there. So, which is pretty exciting. So. Yes, Dopey Tree, good to see you. It's all got to come in the budget. Yep. Future Flight document makes a statement that it's a benefit to have an independent CAA compared to EASA, so they have to act. The deadline they gave is 2026. So something has to happen in 2025. Yeah, it's interesting actually on that one, because when you sort of follow up and you chase in terms of the CAA consultation on drones generally in the UK, so the general consultation that came out, which, as Dopey Tree saying, 2026 is a target date for that. They really do need to act by then. I'm not sure it will happen by then, because there's so much happening across drones. Massive changes with SORA and PDRA changes next year. Really seismic changes.
Yeah.
Have they got the time? They've got the manpower, perhaps.
Yourself, yeah.
That was a bit sarcastic, but they've certainly got the people, you could argue. I only keep going back to the people because I remember when we watched a previous CAA talk at one of the DroneXs previously, and they actually talked about how few staff they had, and that was one of their problems.
Sophie mentioned it. They started with 5 in a
Yeah.
little office behind a door, which I thought was strange because I thought a door. I thought was strange because most offices are behind doors. I thought that's how you get into an office.
Yes, there's probably a visualization thing there.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
Perhaps the door wasn't for them.
Yeah, possibly.
Maybe they had to come in through the window or something.
Or a doorway without a door in it.
Yeah, indeed. Be strange, wouldn't it?
Lost in
But yes, but
translation,
they've
that
certainly got the people at the moment, and I'm just not sure whether we're going to see that happening necessarily in enough time for there to be a public consultation on their recommendations to government to come back onto them, etc., and then it to go through Parliament.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
And I think the government itself has got its hands full, particularly DFT. They're looking at trains, they're looking at buses.
With the new government in place,
they will have an awful lot of priorities.
I was speaking to a couple of people who have wanted to approach their MPs, and obviously there's been a lot of change politically in the UK, and they found actually new MPs don't actually even have their local offices, constituency offices open properly yet. They haven't recruited the staff, that type of thing, because a lot of these people have never been in power before. And it's a shame, because it kind of got me thinking. It's off drone topic, but perhaps we need a system where the civil service run that, so you kind of just leave your desk and someone else comes in.
Somebody else drops in.
It becomes it becomes the constituency office, full stop, not just for that political party.
So we were going to be talking about becoming the Taxvarna channel to give tax advice. Now we're going to be the GovVarna.
No, we're not. No, we're not. Somebody suggested that we should start covering taxation on the channel, and I actually resigned there and then because it's just about fun enough to be doing this stuff.
That person is no longer sat anywhere near the booth.
Yes, exactly.
He was
yes, he was
ejected.
asked to leave immediately. But yes, so there we go. So some more content on the channel coming up. Again, thank you to DroneX, Adnan and Chloe, the directors here, for hosting us and for allowing us to come along. We've had an absolutely fantastic time. Thank you for the people that joined us live here. Hope you've enjoyed watching the replay as well. Let us know in the comments if you came along and met us, actually, because there's a few people, a a lot of people who did that said they might actually come back and comment as well. So let us know in the comments. I know actually I saw the chap who picked his hat up yesterday, James Kirkham. It's been a long 2 days. Really nice guy, actually, wasn't he? He was a really nice guy. Me and Joe chatted to him for a long time, and yes, he's already popped a comment on one of our posts about DroneX actually to say he'd been along to see us, which is awesome. So, and Matt Coles, one of our channel members, gosh, didn't see Graham till he moved. His shirt blends so well with the background. Do you know, it really does. It really does. It's
as do you.
I think, yeah, we should actually be sitting in the opposite chairs, shouldn't we? Because then
That's
you'd be.
it. There we go.
Yeah. We're sort of. So it's actually when the police walk past, we can just.
We're not here.
And because we hear police officers like dinosaurs, aren't they? If you're not moving, they can't see you. So we just like
Something like
blend in like Jurassic Park. But yes, but excellent. So thank you all for joining us. I really do appreciate it. We will see you very soon on Geeks Fun. Later this week, actually, we've got lots more content, a backlog of content that I need to try and get out to get to everybody. Police FPV UK stuff, FPV UK, Police FPV stuff in the UK, which is a very exciting video, all sorts of bits and pieces, some more CAA commentary as well, which will be interesting on some of the projects that they're working on in the future flight side of things. And yeah, all of the other wonderful regulation stuff we always talk about. We're looking forward to it, aren't we?
We are. And I'm going to go and have a little chat with the CAA again, because I've got some.
Are you?
Yeah, I've got some very specific questions for which hopefully we'll get the answers and stick them up.
Answers is always good
on the various social.
I'm glad you're doing that
platforms.
towards the end of the second day.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
that if you are ejected, then you've been here for the live show already at least. Excellent. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining us live. I really appreciate it.
Thank you,
and we'll see you on the channel very soon.
Cheers.
Thanks. Bye. Where's the outro button? Oh, hang on, because Paul Steel City Drone Pilot won't like if I don't do this. Sean out.